DC Universe Online. This is Water Tips. How you doing today? Basically, I thought I'd just come on just try and talk about a few things with DC Universe Online. First off, I want to tell you I'm very excited about the Death Suit Man Part 1. They aired about this past Wednesday on the 16th. I really did enjoy it. It was actually different than I thought in some ways, but like I said, I do like it. I like the idea that you can have the ability to collect a new style. You know, who else doesn't want a Lobo-inspired gear? Of course, if you do want to gain CR or work on a low-level character, you might want to just do regular Starro or other missions that can advance you, because this anniversary is definitely not a CR-related type of deal where you can stack up and get your higher-up gear and CR like as you expected before. I know a lot of people were talking about it and thinking you might have gotten certain things, but you know, according to the things like that, I guess it's just, you know, 50-50 shot. You know, DC Universe has always given me everything that I've wanted in the game so far. As far as like, well, you know, some of the updates were great. I do want to say I do want more inspired Superman, you know, type styles like everybody says, but I have patience. I'm going to wait for it. I'm not going to, you know, stress over it. It's just one of those things that the game actually takes time to do. Like I said, these things take time to put together for Daybreak and things like that. I want to mention that also one good way to level up your character, of course, is always doing these open world type of deals where you are clamped into the instance. You are much higher than you usually are out game of these certain type of missions or instances that you will enter in the portals. Some of the past portals will no longer be available after a few months. Like I said, it all started out with you know, like the Amazon Fury. I believe after that came out a few years ago, and they started doing clamped in the instance like Age of Justice, Earth 3. You know, they all had their things where you basically just went in, collected your current type of gear in the clamped instance, and you got gear that will rise your current CR, whether it be 30, 45, 50, or whatever tier would be. You know, of course, max being 235 to 240. You know, there's going to be a significant amount of time it takes and grinding and whatever you want to do in the game. Now, a few suggestions is, if you are one of those people that is still beginning with the game and is still trying to get familiar with it, I would suggest you do take advantage of as much of the game and in-game missions as possible. Check out some of my videos, of course, you know, water tips. I do have a lot of videos that can make you up and running and, you know, getting involved and getting current with a lot of things. Like I said, this particular World Doom Metropolis I'm in right now is actually just one of the newer things that came out a few days ago, as I mentioned earlier. But it is one of the things you can take advantage of if you want to get, like for instance, March of Victory. You can acquire most March of Victory and most things, whether it be an event. Like this is an anniversary event, which is probably why there is no, you know, particular CR gain. It's just a, you know, gear, inspired Lobo gear thing with a few things, you know, and a Death Suit Man inspired story, which is actually a pretty big anniversary. I mean, it's a 3-part anniversary. I am looking forward to Part 2, of course, and Part 3. Now, there was a talk about a few days ago, I believe in this game, when this first Doomsday Metropolis first came out on the 16th, about a live stream preview about Death Suit Man Part 2, which is supposedly, from what I heard, it was a raid. I don't know, has it already come out or not? I haven't checked the forums lately. I do know that as of yet, I haven't seen anything new happen with it. Like I said, this particular trailer or video they had on this Death of Superman had come out April 20th this past month, before they did testing and stuff for it. Then it came out just this past Wednesday. So they may possibly be doing a 20th of next week of May on it. I don't know for sure. This is what I'm guessing. They might do the same date, but I haven't heard anything yet as of any kind of live stream that I've seen yet. Well, they're coming about a raid. That's all I heard is a possible raid they might be coming out with pretty soon. I do know that there's talk about it launching the Part 2 next month on the 6th. That's what I saw on some of the forums and a few other videos of people that I've seen that made videos exclusively looking on the forum itself, posting that it will be out sometime the 6th of next month, which means they are going to be doing the preview sometime way before then, in the next few weeks here, and they'll have to get things ready and up and running because it's going to be coming pretty quickly around the corner. Now, as far as I know, this content here is actually pretty well permanent. there's other things as far as I'm concerned. If there are any changes, I will let you know if I can. But like I always say, keep checking the forums. And also my videos too if you want to know more. Like I said, as of right now, I don't know as of yet if that particular event is going to be one of those things where part 1 is gone after 3 months and the second one comes. I'm hoping to keep everything on. I mean, the second part is actually a raid, so they need to keep this portal open, of course, for all time, and then the part 2 will come, and then whatever the third part may be. So, but anyhow, getting back to other things, like I said, if you do want to rise in your CR, whatever you want to do, it is very important that you take advantage of the open world things where you are clamped into the instance, because it will be vital to you getting things moving pretty quickly. There was talk of people that seem to be circulating or grinding and getting their CR up pretty quick within like a matter of days, like 10 days, a few weeks, whereas they start off as being 100 and something a CR, then all of a sudden 2 weeks later they're already close to being 230. So yeah, it is important to take advantage of as much of the mission instance as possible. Like for instance, if you go into the map, and you check out on the on duty tab, you'll notice there's a variety of events. For instance, there's a spring sewer rendezvous event. There's Legends, Owen Scientist Practice. If you want to practice Legends, there's a Stabilizer Fragmentation, which I am loot locked currently because I just did it today. There is a Starro Spreading Spores event for those that are low. Starro, threat below. Look, they're all different. There's a 2-player, there's a 4-player, an 8-player. These are basically the missions for people like myself that are kind of lower and still getting started with it. And this is the ones you can do, and they are slightly easier than the extra regular ones. Like for instance, if you go to the 1-player, you'll notice that at the very bottom, which I can't access yet, there's one called Stemming the Tide Hero. That's particular tier 9. That's the actual regular 1-player one. They're actually a lot harder than the regular ones on the events. Each one is there's a variety. This is just a variety of tiers and missions you can do every day. So there's not really any reason why you shouldn't be able to expand or so, depending on how much time you have. If you're one of those that works quite a bit throughout the day, if you're a student, if you're somebody that's going to school and everything, I understand time is limited, but in the time that you can take advantage of it, go ahead and take advantage of trying these out and doing as much as possible, because you can rack up quite a bit of CR every day. For instance, if you start out being like myself, I believe right now let me see, I am a level 30 meta water power hero that's combat rate 52, and the instant cleanse is 230, but you can start out like me 52, and then in a day or so, how much time you have, you can actually get to 60 or 70. That's how quickly you can accumulate, as long as you work hard at it. And there's nothing really about it. I mean, grind just take a while, but there are plenty of opportunities to raise your CR really quickly. And don't forget to take advantage of the advanced jumps in the for instance, if you're creating a character at the very beginning there or in the marketplace, you can advance your character to 170 CR if you don't want to take the time to work at it and get yourself up and you want the time to do it. If you have a very busy schedule, the best thing to do is probably, I would suggest, is to advance your CR to 170. It costs about 50 bucks to raise your CR character up to where you want to be, to at least 170, which means you won't have too much longer to go. You still have to get to 230, but at least you'll be a little bit more at the door and closer and more current. As far as other things, like where DC is going, and like what do I see DC years for going the next 5-10 years, well, there's actually a lot of possibilities in my opinion. I mean, the DC universe has come a long way. I've played since 2010, roughly 2011, since now. I was about 33 when I started. Now I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm still playing the game. I played the game since I was 8 years old, so I've always enjoyed playing games like this. Ever since it came out, it just took my heart, and I was really hooked. I just couldn't stop playing it. So, but like I said, as far as DC Universe's future and where you can go with it, I would say that right now there's a lot to be done. They're in the process, of course, doing a lot of different things. I'm sure more raids, of course, like this particular anniversary here they're working on, other episodes, DLCs. There's always opportunity again. That's what I'm saying. There's just no limit to how many instances, how many episodes you can do in a day. I mean, that's why I don't believe that, some people are saying that they cannot get to a certain point in the game. It's just ridiculous, because there's just so much content. There's so much clamped instances like the one I'm at right now, where there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get where you have to be, unless you have a tight schedule, which is understandable. Now, Don't get me wrong, there's always a couple of things everybody always wanted in the game. Like, I myself would like to see another movement, maybe like a vehicle type of movement, where you can actually use the vehicles to your advantage to get around the city. Maybe have your own vehicle. Maybe not necessarily just flying it around. That'd be cool too, but you know, just like a vehicle type of thing. There's word, of course, about another power, maybe another weapon. I think more about powers. I think the last thing you heard on a lot of forums and people on YouTube, other YouTube videos that plays that people have made is about water powers. Now, being that it's probably the last power, which I don't believe, being the fact that this game just became part of the PlayStation 4 system of the game content and the actual system itself to be played on, as opposed to PlayStation 3 being taken away out of the equation. I like to say that I think that because of that, there's a lot of opportunities for the game to still advance, including graphic-wise. Did hear a few things, hear a few rumors, not saying anything that's yet to be permanently as of news that will happen, but rumors, just per se, about a possible graphics update coming in a few months. With the graphics, you know, I don't think I really have no argument with the graphics. I still do like them. I think they're still pretty good. The open world is very huge, whereas the characters have to be smaller. So a lot of details, if you see if you zoom on me right now, you can see how much more detailed I am zoomed up. I am really impressed with the graphics. Always have been. The gameplay is more basic. I never could get involved in any other games that were MMOs like this one. I tried other MMOs games. I tried various other ones. For example, one name of a game with Terra. To mention one or a few other games that are pretty fun as some people. I didn't say I didn't enjoy it, but I just couldn't get into any other game except this one. So, like I said, there's a big opportunity for this game to still grow. I will have to say I don't believe the game is dying. I never have believed that. Being the game is national, there's always an opportunity to advance, and there's always things to be done. There's always ways to get your CR up. This game is all over the world. People playing it national, and there's always new things coming out. And like I said, if you know people through the game, you have friends, family, people that you know are playing the game together, you know, get involved with them, get them playing. You know, always get to keep the game going as much as possible. That way, people always be able to expand and get their CR level up together and have a good time. Just mostly enjoy the game. You know, especially with the community. You know, be as helpful as you can. Help others as much as possible. Even if you aren't in a league, leagues are very helpful too, especially with proficiencies involved. There's many leagues in the game. This particular game itself, all over. I've seen so many. I have a few leagues of my own, other characters that I'm not going to say names, but I do think leagues are very, very beneficial to people. I believe the prestige is very beneficial and everything. But like I said, just really get in there and you know, get everybody involved in the game. Trying to get more help, trying to expand the help around DC Universe community to get people playing as much as possible. And of course, and always enjoy the new content that comes out, because the new content is always going to give you new exciting things like artifacts, auras, materials if possible. And like I said, every particular new instance or DLC always has its episodes, and always has new bounties, new things, or especially with the story. Always check everything out and make sure you always access everything in the game as much as possible every day that you chance to get on, and just really try to really expand the DC universe. You want to keep this game going as long as possible, and I'm pretty sure Daybreak and the people of the game, the designers and people who develop the games, really want to keep it going too as well. I know they do. Anyhow, that's my word for right now. Like I said, I do want to really recommend and give some advice that, you know, the more you play, the more experienced you will become, and be able to help others, but always help other people out in the game, regardless if you're in a league or whatever, because there are people that are just new to the game, and believe it or not, after several years or so many years, and they still need help. So always try to help them as much as you can. That's one thing I always recommend. If you're somebody yourself who needs help, watch my videos, because my videos starting with missions, you know, from level 1 all the way till now, including some of the newer stuff that come out, the Starro missions, this one here, they all are very helpful towards getting you started and even getting some gear that you want. Even if it's just style related or whatever, if you're very interested in it, please subscribe. I do appreciate your time and talking to me. Like I said, I will try and inform you more on later on videos of things coming up, like the new parts of this one, part 2, part 3, any other new DLC episodes as much as I can. Like I say, this is Water Tip, so if you have any questions, if you want to just let me come subscribe, make sure you talk to me and get together with me if you see me on, whenever, and I'll try and help the best way I can. Anyway, like I said, that's it for now. Like I said, if you have access to this mission or this particular event, Anniversary Part 1, Death Suit Man, make sure you keep playing it every day, because every day, the new daily missions become available to do, and it does give you a lot of tributes. They're just towards the gear, but they do give you a lot of tributes. You do get Marks of Victory, you do get new base items, which I forgot to mention last video, new Superman comic book stacks you can put in your base, new type of pictures on your wall, and stuff like that. Just things to add to your inventory. GCUS is always expanding, and I'm very happy to say that I've enjoyed the ride so far, and I'm here to stay. So this is Water Tips. I want to thank you for joining again, listening. I hope I helped you out with some things today, and I hope that you will consider some things I've said. And with that being said, I'll see you next time. Keep playing. See ya.